Hi everybody, today we're going to do another test. It's Wednesday, July 30th at 7:04 a.m. The test will happen in a few minutes, but I just want to put this up there. And it's 61% humidity. It's 88 degrees today. We're going through a heat wave here in New York. And we're going to be working with Orchid 26. And the test that we're going to be doing is soaking it for 2 hours, then bringing the weight down to today's weight, then soaking it for 5 hours, then after that waiting for the weight to come down to the original weight, and then soaking it for 8 hours, and then comparing the amount of water intake after each of those intervals. Who knows, I might go on to 12-hour interval after those 3, but we'll see. And looking at Orchid 26 schedule, last time I watered this was Sunday, July 13th, with 1 ounce of water. Now, if you're a new member, you might be thinking that I'm some kind of sadist for waiting 16 days for not watering this orchid. But Phalaenopsis use a photosynthesis called crassulacean acid metabolism, which is the same as a cactus or a jade plant. So after 16 days, there really isn't a problem. And I'm not encouraging you to do this either. It's just that with all of the orchids I have, and these are about a half of them, I'm not going to get bent out of shape if I don't water a plant that functions just like a cactus or a jade plant for 16 days. And as you can see, it's sufficiently healthy. There's just a little bend in the leaves, but they're not limp at all. Not in the least are they limp. And the roots are doing fantastically. There's root buds everywhere, here, under here you can't see, here, over here. So the orchid's in great shape. So we're going to do the 2-hour test today, but the first thing we have to find out is the weight of the orchid by itself. And it's just too large to place onto a small scale that I have, so I'll show you what I'm going to do to weigh it. So I'm going to be using ounces because that's the most accurate measurement on my scale. It measures to 1/10 of an ounce. So what I'm going to do is place vase and orchid onto the scale, and I get 26 ounces. Great. So now I'm going to take the orchid out of the vase. See if I can do this while holding the camera. Here goes the orchid. And the vase weighs 23.5 ounces. So if we subtract 23.5 from 26, we get a total of 2.5 ounces for this entire orchid with the stick. And I just realized that I never accounted for the weight of the stick, so let's see what that weighs. And it comes in as nothing. So it's not going to be a factor affecting our calculations. Okay, the orchid's back in the vase, and I'm about to add 2 cups of water. Let's check the time, and it's 7:18 on July 30th. Okay. And here goes. Check the time. All right, we're good. Hi, everybody. We're back, and it's 2 hours later. So I'll take the orchid out. Put it here, and we'll get all the water out of the vase. And I'm going to go wipe down the vase so that there's absolutely no water left in there. And I placed the orchid here so that the roots could just dry out. So just give me a couple of minutes. Okay, it's 9:31. And you can see how green the roots are now. The residual water has been absorbed, so I'm going to put it back into the vase, which has been cleaned. And then we're going to weigh the vase and the orchid together. Okay, so here it goes. And we have 26.3 ounces as the new weight. So to summarize, the orchid originally weighed 26.0 ounces. That's the vase and the orchid. And after the 2-hour period, both weighed 26.3 ounces for a difference of 0.3 ounces. Now we can assume that that 0.3 ounces was taken up by the orchid because the vase has a constant weight. So adding on that 0.3 ounces to the original 2.5 ounces gives us a new weight for the orchid of 2.8 ounces after 2 hours of soaking. Now we want to find the percentage of the original weight of the orchid added in that 2-hour period. So we take the additional 0.3 ounces divided by the original weight of the orchid before it was watered, and it comes to 0.12, which equals 12%. So what I'm going to do from here is wait for the orchid to return to its original weight of 26.0 ounces. That's the vase and the orchid together. Then I'm going to do the exact same type of test that I did today, but over a 5-hour period. And then when we get the results, we can compare the percentage of original weight added between the 2-hour test and the 5-hour test. I have no idea what's going to happen, so this is very interesting. Well, thanks for joining me once again, and stay tuned for the next results after the 5-hour test.